So I was on my way to earn my first six figures from music, and then I went and signed a record deal. And so in this video, I want to share with you the 5 ways that you can earn six figures from your music without signing to a record deal. My name's Chris, also known as the artist Manafest. I have about 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. We've got about, 130 million total. We've actually hit 200 million. I need to get a new plaque. And we've been doing this 30-day Spotify challenge to see if I can get 100,000 streams within 30 days. And we're on day 16 right now. But before I go into the details and where we're at, I wanted to share with you, like, how do you make six figures from your music, right? And for me, I'll never forget the first time I would have made six figures in a year from music was touring, was playing live shows. And I remember we were just touring across Canada. And I remember I got my bank statement and I saw how much we had earned that month. And it was $20,000. And I was like, holy crap. If I can do that once, I can do it again. And if I actually did that every single month, that would be actually 200,000, right? Because if you do 100 shows a year at 1,000 a piece, that's $100,000. And that's just one way, right? Now, if we plug merch into that, right, then let's just say out of those 100 shows, you did $400 a night. Like that was the average, right? Times 100, that would be $40,000. Okay. Now, when I was, making this money touring and traveling and whatnot, I wasn't signed to a record deal yet, right? And I thought I had to be signed to get bigger. And you know what? I'm all about, partnerships because I would rather have 50% of a watermelon than 100% of a grape. But the problem is when I signed to the record deal, they immediately took 80% of the income. So let's just say like I worked for those shows and I made $100,000, right? Well, that means I would only walk away with 20,000 and the label would get that other 80,000. So it literally means I would almost have to generate, 800,000 or almost $1 million to make that same $20,000 or $100,000 within that month, because all of a sudden that income is going to them. Now, if they were able to make me even more money, then that's fine. But if they're not, well, then there's no point. And this is the thing. I made that money when I was an independent artist, right? Now, what about streaming? And again, I'm not a household name, but I think it's really important that you see the numbers. I used to distribute my music through TuneCore. We did a catalog sale. I've been rebuilding my catalog, so these numbers aren't nearly as high as they could be. We've just been starting to rebuild this, so bear with me here, but I want to show you this. Do I have it open or did I close it? I might have closed it on you. I wanted to show, it's right here. I wanted to show you my DistroKid account from streaming, and then I want to do six-figure math for streaming and how many streams it actually takes to make money from your streaming. Okay, here it is here. So here's my DistroKid account, $106,000. Okay, so we're getting pretty personal there. All right, now that's just one income stream, but let's break down how that works. Okay, to make 100,000 a year from streaming, okay, from streaming royalties, we know that Spotify pays anywhere from 0.003 to 0.005 cents per stream. Okay, the reason there's a difference is because it depends on the countries, right? Depends on which royalty payment. So let's just meet in the middle. Let's say 0.004 cents. So how many streams would you need? Well, you need 25 million streams a year. And that sounds like a lot, but when you break that down, that's just 2,083,333 streams a month. Okay, so you just basically need 2 million streams a month. You can do that. Okay, but then let's break it down even more. That means you need about 70,000 streams a day. Okay, can you get 70,000 streams a day? That might seem like a lot. And let's break it down even further though. What if you got 10 songs getting 7,000 streams a day? Can you even get one song to get 7,000 streams a day? And what if you had 10? Okay, and I want to give shouts out to my man Nick D on this next one. What if you had 20 songs getting 3,500 streams a day. Now, that might seem a little bit more manageable. So maybe you just need to get more songs. You need to build your catalog, right? But I want to preface this. There's no point in having more songs out there if you're not marketing and promoting them, okay? You can have more songs, but unless you market and promote them like we're talking about on the Spotify challenge, it's probably not going to happen, right? And if you've been watching this challenge, you'll know that within now 2 weeks, we took a song that was only getting 63 streams a day and we got it up to 702, which leads me to my next one. What if you had 40 songs getting 1,750 streams a day, right? And what if you were promoting those songs on a playlist like I was talking about? And here's the other thing. I've been showing you all the streams on this challenge that have mostly been from Spotify. But if you've been watching this challenge, you know that we've been running Facebook and Instagram ads to promote my playlist on Spotify, but not everybody has Spotify. So what has been happening? Well, my Apple Music streams have been going up. My YouTube views have been going up. My Amazon streams have been going up. So everything is getting a lift. And this is where things start to get really sexy and really attainable, right? And what I love about streaming so much and why it's my favorite is because once you've built it and you've grown the audience, it's perpetual, it's evergreen. It just keeps going, right? It's like you do the work once, but then you get paid forever. Where touring, you go and do the work. Yes, you get paid quicker. You probably can potentially get paid more, not necessarily though, but you get paid for that service, but you only get paid once. Okay, you only get paid once. And so again, if I could go back in time, man, instead of doing those thousands of shows, I wish I wrote thousands of songs, right? That would have been the one thing I would have changed. Now, what about TV and film placements, man? We had one song last year that got in the Olympics in the Omega Watches commercials. My song "Born to Be a Legend," six-figure sync, six-figure plus sync. We had another song in the Super Bowl, multiple thousands, right? So what if you got 5 TV film placements? That's $20,000 right there. Or sorry, 5 placements at 20,000. That's $100,000 a year. And maybe you're getting a placement. Maybe you're getting streaming. Maybe you're also doing touring. Maybe this last one that you're doing, and there's also merch. I got to make sure I include merch. Maybe you're doing a Kickstarter a year, and you're raising $20,000 to $50,000. And I'll tell you this, fans want to support you. Friends and family want to support you. But fans, friends, and family, they cannot take an offer you don't make. I don't know where my CD is for my new album here. I normally have it here. Here it is right here. My new album, Walking Into Fire. Make sure you go pre-save it on Spotify right now. If you go pre-save it, you can download some new songs. You can get entered in to win a contest. I'm making an offer right now, okay? That would be an offer I'd make to my fans. Well, unless I make the offer, fans can't take it. Do you want to buy my CD? Hey, it comes autographed. That's an offer. Do you want to get merch with it as well too? This is one of our hats, or maybe, a necklace or something like that. You make an offer via a Kickstarter. But sometimes we let fear hold us back. And all fear stands for is false evidence appearing real. That's why in Joshua 1:8, how many times did he say to him, be strong and courageous? Be strong and courageous. Like, you're stepping into unknown territory. And I know what it's like to fail. I know what it's like to want to give up. But you need to persevere. You need to keep going. You don't know how close you are to your breakthrough. I was sharing on our Spotify 5-day challenge today. There was a guy that had promoted his song 34 times. He had posted that same song 34 times. And some guy left some hate on one of his last videos. And he was thinking about deleting it because he was discouraged. But he left it up there, and then he posted one more time. And that was the video that went viral. And now the dude's got hundreds of thousands of monthly listeners. So don't listen to the haters, okay? Listen to the calling in your heart. God's called you to do music, to get your music and your voice out there. Okay, so those are the different ways that you can earn 6 figures from your music. But how do we start promoting that music? Okay, because maybe you got the music. Well, here comes the marketing time. Because again, it's not the best song that wins. You could have all these awesome songs, but if people don't know they're there, they don't know they're on the playlist, then they're not going to hear them. And so the first step is to create a Spotify playlist to promote it. And that's what we did. And I want to show you here. Let me open up Spotify. I've been promoting my songs on this is Manafest playlist. And when we started promoting this playlist, it only had 1,700 followers. And now it's got over 2,000 saves, which is another word for followers. And I've been promoting this song, Help. Okay, that's the song I've been promoting. Now, I'm going to share my Spotify for Artists dashboard. We've been running Facebook and Instagram ads to this song. And I want to go to my ads manager here. And if we click in here, we can see that right now, I've been spending, so far today, I spent 50 bucks. What did I spend yesterday? I spent, just shy of 100 bucks. We spent 99 bucks. There we go. Okay. And we had 216 people click over to the song. Okay. 41,000 people saw the ad, but only 216 people clicked on it. Okay. Now, the question is, what does that do for my streams? Why am I doing this? Well, I'm promoting my song in the ad. It's a video ad. It's like 15 to 20 seconds long. But let's look at our Spotify artist dashboard now and see what's been going on. Well, right now I can see there's about 179, 181 people listening to my songs right now. But if we click on music, and then I do a search, and I'm going to type help, because that's the name of the song. Whoops, help. I'm going to click on the song. And as you can see here, when we started promoting this song, we were only getting like 60 something streams. Then we jumped up to 82, to 113, 140, 157, and we went all the way up to 719. Now on the weekend, it normally dips down. So we dipped down a little bit to 400, and now we're back up to 523. And now what my hope is that we can take this song and we can get up to 1,000. Okay. Now, if we look here, my saves have also continued, and they've dipped down a little bit. And we're going to fix that today. I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix that and scale it to the next level. Same thing with playlist ads. Those have continued to go up. Now, we've kind of tapered off here, so we need to get this thing to the next level, baby. But what we can also see is that the streams per listener, that started at 1.8. It's now practically 2.5. That means people are listening to my song 2.5 times every time they hear it. They don't just listen to it once. They're listening to it at least 2.5 times. Some people are listening to it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Some people are only listening to it once, but the average person is listening to it 2.5 times. You know what that tells me? That tells me that the algorithm, Spotify's algorithm, is literally about to take this thing and freaking launch it to the moon. I opted in the song yesterday into Spotify discovery mode because it was not part of Spotify discovery mode. And now that I've opted it in for that, and it probably won't trigger until, it's hard to say, maybe September, maybe right away, we'll have to see. But I'm hoping the algorithm now grabs a hold of this song and starts promoting it for me. And that's how I'm going to get my thousands of streams. But I'm only spending $100 Canadian a day. So it's actually not really 100 a day. It's 100 Canadian. So it's probably like $65 a day American. So let's scale the ads, and I want to show you how we're going to do that. So we've been currently running ads to tier 1 and tier 2 countries, and that's why this is 52 cents Canadian. This is 38 cents, but this is costing too much. Okay, I think this audience is starting to dial out a little bit. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to duplicate this ad set right here. I'm going to hit duplicate, and I want to uncheck all these recommendations and click duplicate. And the next thing I want to do is I want to call this open, because I'm going to do an open targeting, okay? And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on close. And we should see this ad set right here. And what I'm going to do is these are the 2 targetings here, Eminem and hip hop music. I'm going to delete Eminem. This is just the targeting. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit hip hop, and I'm going to just call this open. And you'll see why in a second. I'm going to scroll down here. You can see how I have all the countries in here. But what I'm going to do is, see where it says interest hip hop music? I'm going to click edit there, and I'm going to remove that. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click next. And there's my ad, which has 46 shares and 19 comments. I'm going to click publish. Okay. And now it's publishing 3 of 3. Now I'm going to click back on, oh, I got to uncheck this so I can see this ad. Okay, so there's open. Now, how much am I spending per day on that is the question. Here it is, open. Let me just organize this. There's a lot of ads going on here, and I don't want to. Okay, so there's the 3 ads. Now there's the open, $33 a day. Let's just start at, let's do 13 on that. 13 a day. Let's scale up slow. But that's, and I want to call that, that's tier 3 countries. Okay. But now I want to do the same thing for this one. Okay. And so I'm going to duplicate this one. I'm going to uncheck all these recommendations because I don't want them. I'm going to click duplicate. And I'm going to call this open tier 1 and 2. And then I'm going to click close. And then here it is right here. Okay. And I'm going to click inside here. And again, I'm going to remove all the targetings here except for M&M because I think that was the one that was doing the best. Oh, and then I'm going to delete those other ad sets. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click edit. I'm going to call this open. And then I'm going to scroll down here. And again, you can see all the countries, tier 1 and tier 2. And I'm going to come down here. So here it says interest M&M. I'm going to remove that. Okay. And then I'm going to click on the ad. And it looks like, okay, I got to click close. And what I'm going to do something a little ninja here is I'm going to come on, this is tier, so let's go, it's this one. So I want to come in here. This is the one that's getting all the action. So this is the ad that is doing the best. So I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to click share, Facebook posts. And I want to keep all the social proof on this ad. So I'm grabbing this post ID. Okay, this is a little bit more advanced, but I teach this in my inner circle. We're going to click open, and it was this one right here. And I'm going to change this from create to use existing post. And I'm going to enter the post ID here because I want to make sure I keep all those comments. Okay, so I'm publishing that ad. Now I'm going to click back to ad sets or campaigns, and I got to uncheck this. And there's my tier 1 and tier 2 ad. There's the ad set. Now this is the one that is going processing, so I'm going to delete this one. Okay, and I just got to change the budget. What's the budget on here? It is 52 a day. Let's dial that to 12. Okay. Okay, so what did we do there? Okay, so basically what I was doing there is that we were running ads to tier 1 and tier 2 countries with one campaign. Another campaign, we were doing tier 3. And just to explain the differences, tier 1 and tier 2, those are like your Canada, US, Germany, UK, Brazil. Okay, those are a little bit more expensive countries, where then tier 3 countries, you've got India, you've got Philippines, and other cheaper countries to run ads. But all the countries have the ability to trigger Spotify's algorithm and get streams. Like, the main thing we're trying to do is feed Spotify's algorithm, and then the algorithm will take the song and launch it. But right now we're in the phase of feeding the streams. Okay. And I want to see how high we can get by feeding the streams. And then eventually I'll dial it back. But the problem is, we started off by targeting an audience, right? We were targeting hip hop music. You probably saw in there that we're targeting Drake and Kanye. You saw that we were targeting Eminem. And if you watched the previous videos, you would notice when I originally set up the ads with Hyped It, it always does a targeting, but then it also says you must also like Spotify. Well, stage 1 in scaling your streams is starting as is, but then once the algorithm, and I'm talking about Facebook's algorithm right now because it's learning who to show your ad to. It has now learned, like, how many conversions do we have now? We have like thousands of conversions. Like, there's over 1,000 people have clicked on this ad. So Facebook knows who to show this to now. And so the problem now is that the audience was starting to burn out. So what you saw, what I did is I literally just copied all the same targeting, except that I removed Spotify and hip hop, and I only targeted the countries. So I duplicated the targeting as far as countries are concerned, but I removed it and left it open. So now I'm going to let Facebook just do all the heavy lifting. Facebook, you're smarter than me. Sure, I know people who like hip hop music are going to like this song, but guess what? Not everybody is following hip hop that might like my song. Not everybody that follows Eminem or Drake or Kanye is going to like my song. So what I'm doing now is I'm saying, Facebook, you go find the audience. Here's all the countries. Go find me fans in all those countries, and I'm leaving it completely wide open. It's as wide as you can possibly get. And so we'll see how much it costs today as far as the cost per click. I'm hoping that it really goes down because my costs were starting to go up a little bit, right? And so I don't want to just like scale and spend more money and my costs go up. I'm not reaching any more people. So that's no good. And so that's why I've started now at a smaller budget, like 10, 12 bucks a day. And we'll slowly scale that up and we'll see how high we get. But my goal is obviously like, I don't want him to have to spend, hundreds or thousands of dollars a day just to kind of trigger the algorithm. I might be able to only have to spend like maybe 100 a day or whatever. We'll see how high we go up to. But the main point is that, look, Spotify needs data. Okay. And if you want Spotify discovery mode to work for you, if you want the algorithm to work for you, you've got to feed it data. Okay. And so we're forcing this to happen with Facebook and Instagram ads. Obviously, you can do organic content as well too, post on social media. You can tour, you can do radio. There's all kinds of different ways you can do, but I think, and I know that the cheapest way to do this is by running Facebook and Instagram ads. And what I also love about it is like I'm not having to post every single day. And yet I'm getting people following me. My streams are growing while I can do my work. Like, sure, I can go film content, and I do film content sometimes, and I post organically. Of course I do that. But I can't do that 24/7. So I want to take my best performing posts and I want to leverage these tools of Facebook and Instagram ads to go find me fans, people who have never even heard of me before. So this was day 16 now, if you can believe it. The next video is right here, day 17. Watch it, and I look forward to seeing what happens next. Peace.